Hello and welcome back to the NHL Best Bets. Last night we had another good night with our picks. Here you see the results. Anaheim St. Louis was clearly under game, even though the result was 4-1. Anaheim scored last two goals to empty net, and that pushed her total a little bit higher than it should be, but in any case, our pick was correct and good value, good win for the total bet there. And then Winnipeg played in Calgary, the place where visitors have an upper hand game after game, and that was the case tonight as well, last night as well. Winnipeg controlled the game all throughout the game, and then last period Calgary got a little bit their game going, but end result 3-2 was very okay for us, and it was reflecting the game pretty well. What do you think, Tommy? Another night of good games and good picks for us.
Yeah, definitely. Green is my favorite color here. We're approaching the 0 point in the season bets as well. So very good going. And these games, of course, pretty much as we expected, even if in St. Louis have to be said that the home team was a little bit underwhelming. We knew that they're going to play very defensively because of injuries and all the things that have been going against them. So it is a defensive team to start with, but scoring only one goal against Anaheim was a bit less than we expected. Good thing for our under, of course, because Anaheim, like you said, scored 2 goals in the empty net in the final minutes of the game. So a little worry there, but under like game true and true. So a very good pick from us. And the other game in Calgary, the place where the home team is somehow haunted, apparently. Winnipeg was a lot better team for 2 periods. They also did maybe let Calgary in the game a little bit in the third. So it became a lot closer game than it should have been. 2-3 for Winnipeg, a good win for the away team, and with a great value odds again. The odds makers are constantly having Jets as underdogs in games that in our simulations they are favorites. So we keep on putting our money for the Jets because they've been playing really well, solid defensively, good goaltending, and also a lot more balance in the offense than in the previous season. So a great team at the moment, and let's keep an eye out for them.
And then a few other games that were played last night. Washington played as expected against New Jersey 4-0, very convincing win. And even though our machine was providing some value for visitors, like we discussed, it's not wise to bet against tough teams like Washington at home. And then San Jose didn't show up in Arizona last night. I don't know what will happen tonight, but those kind of roller coaster teams are another type of teams that it's not wise to bet. Even the machine indicates some value for them.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing that San Jose, you never know what's going to happen in their games. And this time they were really lousy against Arizona. Of course, Arizona pumped up from their last game. So Arizona played well, but still San Jose should turn up for these games as well. It was a weird performance from them, and not very convincing in any way. This time has to be said that finally we managed to make the correct picks from the system, because only side value that was correct was that Winnipeg game, and the only totals this time that went in the right way was that St. Louis Anaheim game. So good job for us finally. A little bit disappointing from the system point of view, but those games then the money line did go correct. So money line wins were as expected. So some plus from there, but otherwise a difficult night. Maybe a better one tonight with a lot more games.
Let's go through the tonight picks right away. And there is a good top matchup for the Scotia North Division. Edmonton goes to Toronto, and these offensive heavyweights face each other. Our simulations, this game is more or less 50-50 game, but bookmakers provide great odds for Edmonton plus 150. So that's the main reason why we pick visitor here in Toronto. And then under 5.5 goals is our selection. The game where Columbus goes to Detroit. We had Detroit under a few nights ago, and that wasn't correct because Detroit was not showing up at all, and Mr. Grimaldi in Nashville scored the 4 goals. So we think there is no Grimaldis in Columbus this time, and Joonas Korpisalo will provide needed goaltending for visitors to keep it low-scoring game. So under 5.5 goals is another pick.
Yeah, the other one of these, the under, is this sort of obvious bet for the very bad scoring teams. Good defensively, Detroit usually as well. Last time they did collapse completely against Nashville, but they are still a good NHL. Well, not a good, but they are an NHL hockey team, so they probably will watch a lot of video, learn from their mistakes, go defensive against Columbus, and Columbus has always had and still has the problem scoring. They are very active and grinding team, but that doesn't translate into a lot of goals. So I do think that this under is a great pick. Neither team is able to score more than 2 goals on average, so I think this will be another overtime kind of coin flip, but no more than 5 goals. Pretty certain about that, so a good under pick there with that value. And then the very interesting other game, weirdly set odds, I do think, even if the teams are on top of their division. Edmonton is leading, Toronto second. Of course, Edmonton does have more games played, I think. But when you take a look at the last 10 games, Edmonton is leading their division, 10 last games, 14 points. Toronto is dead last in the division, 10 last games, only 8 points. So teams going in different directions. I do think Toronto has had a lot of issues, maybe a little bit overconfident. They have such a good attacking offensive squad that they sometimes do turn over the puck too much and allow their opponents, be it Calgary's or Ottawa's, to get a great chances where other teams wouldn't. Edmonton, of course, a similar team as Toronto, very heavy offensively, but they have found their way to have a little bit more balance and not finishing these games 6-7 or something like that. So they're able to actually keep Toronto's offense in check and then hit back when needed. So I think they're playing a lot smarter than they have previously. So I think Edmonton, with these massive odds in a game that is pretty much a coin flip, it's a great pick, even if they play on the road.
There is many other games tonight, and if we start from those other early games, Philadelphia hosts New York Rangers again, and Philadelphia has been complete mess during the last few games. There is value for home team and a road favorite, according to bookmakers, is not a favorite in our simulation. So do you think Philadelphia will finally find some kind of game there and can win at home?
I do think that they have to start winning at some point. Like I've said in the past couple of days, that they are a better team than what we've seen against Rangers in these couple of games that they've taken a massive beating. So I think that it's just more of this sort of a mental thing that they are, when things are not going their way, they kind of break down quite easily. So I think that if they manage to get some motivation, pump themselves up, they are a better team and could be and should be a match for the Rangers. In this case, 53% of the simulations are still picking Philadelphia to win. I do think that's a good pick as well, but there is always the worry that another collapse is ahead. But yeah, Philadelphia is a better team than what we've seen from them. Let's see if they manage to start winning already.
And then there is a rematch of a few nights ago. Knights continue to play in Colorado. Avalanche was much better in previous matchup. They won 5-1. There most probably are the same number one goalkeepers in goal of Marc-Andre Fleury and Philipp Grubauer. Do you think there's still a overbet like we scored last time value for tonight as well?
According to simulations, there is quite a lot of value actually. The goaltenders are good, but the teams, when they get going, both of them can score goals. Of course, Vegas has had some issues in goal scoring. Then again, against Colorado, they should be able to cut their play to play against the Colorado's offense pretty well and turn the puck over, get the chances that they need to score. So I do think Vegas is able to score the 2 to 3 goals. And of course, what we've seen from Colorado in the past couple of games, they're scoring at will now. Everything, they've had so many chances during this season, converted very little. Now they've started to convert, so they are able to score that 4 to 5 goals rather easily. Of course, depends a little bit how Vegas will be approaching this game. If they will go full on defensive and try to just break the play, then it will be hard to score against that team. I do think that it's for Colorado 4 to 2, 5 to 1 like it was last time. So a good over there and very, very interesting matchup. Kind of like a statement game for both teams. If Colorado manages to win again, they've been better than Vegas in all the games they played. And if Vegas bounces back now, they show that, okay, Colorado not yet is not yet your time. So very interesting matchup, something I'll be following closely for sure.
Then another interesting game from the East is Pittsburgh New York Islanders game, and our simulations show clear value for home team there, but we've seen how New York Islanders have recently played. They had a bit slowdown after their long winning streak, but since then they have won again 3 games in a row. So do you think there's guts to bet for the home team against New York Islanders here?
Yeah, the simulations do like Pittsburgh Penguins now. I don't know exactly why, but it's 58.8% the games go to Pittsburgh Penguins. Of course, at home, they won this season twice, Islanders already, which is a good indication for that side. Then again, Pittsburgh Penguins has, again, like in many seasons, their injury crisis. So men are dropping like flies. We're not yet sure who is going to play in the goal. We're not sure how the lineups are going to be because Malkin is definitely out. Kasperi Kapanen went out last game. A couple of defensemen might be out. So there could be some issues with that. But that being said, Penguins usually play the better the more they are in trouble. So if they are in trouble now against Barry Trotz's Islanders, they might just well win. So 58% is quite a statement from the system. I do think Penguins is a better team, if only very slightly. So I do think they can win this game at home.
Then there is 2 clear back-to-back games from the last night. Winnipeg plays second game in Calgary, and if we take a look of the back-to-back game win percentage for Winnipeg, they have won 47% of the back-to-back games on the road, when overall road win percentage is over 51. So they haven't been able to play so well on the road on those back-to-back games. And do you think this haunt that haunts Calgary in Saddledome can be removed for one night tonight?
I do think that Winnipeg might be still winning this game if they can turn back to the first 2 periods of last time instead of the final period where Calgary got a little bit their game going. And if Calgary manages to play like that, it's a tough matchup. But we do have Winnipeg winning 53% of these simulations still, even though that percentage for the back-to-backs is not that good. We have to remember though that Jets are a little bit different team this season than they have been in the past. They are more balanced in more and play more in a defensive way than previously. It's been very, very offensive team, and now maybe a little bit more disciplined, a little bit more defensive and balanced, like I said. So Jets, again, are a favorite in our papers, and the bookmakers do think that the Calgary Flames are favorites. So maybe go again against the bookmakers and take the Jets.
Then other back-to-back game, San Jose, the roller coaster team, plays in Arizona, and for Arizona, these home back-to-back games haven't been any kind of success because during the last 3 years, the win percentage for them at home is 46.6%, but it's pretty remarkable that their back-to-back home games win percentage is only 18. So they have struggled mightily in those back-to-back home games, and this season there has been a handful of those, and the result is pretty much same. So they have won, I think, one back-to-back home game so far. No, two back-to-back home games out of 7 pairs. So do you think Arizona is in trouble here, or is it only depending on what kind of sharks are swimming to the pool here tonight in the desert?
Yeah, I don't think sharks do very well in the desert. The coyotes might eat them alive, but yeah, it's an interesting matchup again. I do think that how Arizona Coyotes play, it should be quite easy for the teams to read, and that's probably one of the reasons why they keep losing these back-to-back games, because when you play in certain way all the time, it's quite easy to counter, especially if you have a little bit better team, like many of these teams are. Arizona not contender by any means, and only struggling to make the playoffs. So we'll see. San Jose is a better team, but like you said, a roller coaster. We never know what's going to come out. They did play really badly last night. Maybe this time they will be the contender-looking team again. So we do have small value for the road underdogs here, 49% for San Jose. The odds are a little bit in the positive, so it's a risky pick. But I could see San Jose beating Arizona this time around.
Let's see who is eating who tonight, and we'll come back tomorrow with further analysis of this kind of animal kingdom.
A very long day of hockey ahead.
See you soon.
See you tomorrow.